Welcome to the Library Love Fest podcast. I'm Virginia Stanley.
I'm Lainey Mays.
And Essie Ramirez.
We are the library marketing team at HarperCollins Publishers.
Join us every week as we present buzzworthy books through author interviews, conversations with editors, and expert opinions from librarians like you.
Enjoy the show.
Book Buzz, HarperCollins Book Buzz. Check it out. Do-do-do, Book Buzz, HarperCollins Book Buzz. Brought to you by Library Love Fest.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Library Love Fest podcast. This is Lainey, and I'm joined by
Essie. Hey, everyone.
Hi. We're here for another episode where we talk about library reads. This is super exciting. We love doing these, and we're always excited when we get to come back for another month and tell you what HarperCollins authors made the list. So this is the March Library Reads list. If you don't know about Library Reads, just quickly, it's the top 10 books voted on by librarians across the country. This will be the March list. We also have a section of the list called the Hall of Fame, who've had their books on the list twice before. Anytime after that, when they get enough votes, their book will be in the Hall of Fame. So now that I've buried the lead enough, let's tell you our three authors who made the Hall of Fame list this March. So we have The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn.
Yay!
Woo! Then we have Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey.
All right.
And then third, we have 9 Lives by Peter Swanson.
Yay! Oh, that's really exciting.
I know. 3 crazy great authors on the Hall of Fame. Very proud. As we tell you about each book and hear a little clip from the author, which is really my favorite part, we'll tell you what previous books put them on the list and then, made them into the Hall of Fame. So first, let's talk about The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. We had Kate on our Facebook Live not too long ago. That was super cool. This new book, she's great at historical fiction, but this book is about a World War II sniper who just happens to be a librarian. Pretty amazing and, based on a true story. So we love those kind of books, and Kate Quinn is just the best person to write them. And her previous library read selections were The Alice Network, June 2017, The Huntress, February 2019, and then The Rose Code, March 2021. And with The Diamond Eye, this is her 4th book that made the library reads list. So super, super exciting. All right, let's hear from Kate Quinn.
Hi, libraries and librarians. This is Kate Quinn, the author of The Diamond Eye. I am so excited and so thrilled to see that I was a Library Reads Hall of Fame pick for the month. Whew, it is such a ride to see my books in any library in the first place, a thrill that never gets old. My mother was a librarian, and I spent my formative years running around libraries, reading my way through the kids section and then eventually the adult section, viewing the whole domain of shelves and books as my personal playground. Libraries have been my haven, and books have been my escape, especially in the last 2 years as we've all struggled with pandemic, with the lockdown, with all the horrible stresses and strains that have gone with it. The Diamond Eye is about a real-life heroine of history and a real-life lover of books. The Russian woman, an aspiring historian who became not only the most effective female sniper of World War II, but the most effective female sniper of all time. Writing her story was my personal escape. I honestly think my muse took one look at the world on fire in every single Twitter and Facebook headline and said, you know what? I'm taking a vacation. I'm going to the Russian front. It sounds like a spa day. That was how I escaped the everyday worries and panics of lockdown, by writing the story of the single mother and library researcher who became the scourge of Nazis invading her homeland, which just proves to me, if I needed any additional proof, that you do not ever underestimate what librarians can do. So thank you for embracing my pandemic book, The Diamond Eye. Thank you for all your support over the years, because I am so grateful to you all.
She's great.
She's the coolest person ever. Oh my God.
Pretty much. Pretty much. All right. So next we want to hear from our second book that made the Hall of Fame, Tessa Bailey, Hook, Line, and Sinker, Romance is in the Air. We're recording this on Valentine's Day. It's kind of no better book to talk about. It's a great rom-com. Her previous library read selections were Fix Her Up, June 2019, Love Her or Lose Her, January 2020, Tools of Engagement, September 2020, and It Happened One Summer, July 2020. So she's no stranger to the Hall of Fame list, and we're very excited her new book was included. All right, so let's hear from Tessa Bailey.
Hello, Library Love Fest podcast. It's Tessa Bailey. I am so excited to hear that Hook, Line, and Sinker made it into the Library Reads Hall of Fame. I cannot express enough how much appreciation I have for librarians around the country who have rallied behind this series, Hook, Line, and Sinker, and It Happened One Summer, and put them on their shelves and recommended them to library customers. It really means so much to me. I've had more and more readers reaching out to me saying that they are checking out my books at the library and that they're on hold for weeks and months. That just kind of blows my mind. You know, even in my own hometown here, there's a wait list for my book, and I know that's down to librarians and the power that they have, that you have, and the fact that you choose to use that influence with my books really means just the world to me. And I am so honored to be in the Hall of Fame with Hook, Line, and Sinker. Thank you so much. And thank you to the podcast for having me on. Have a lovely rest of the winter and a beautiful spring, and hopefully lots of lovely reads in your future. Bye.
Oh, she sounds very sweet.
Yeah. Her books are super fun. So next we have Peter Swanson, 9 Lives. Super excited. Previous library read selections include, this is just a great podcast as we get to tell all of the great books that have made the list. Okay. Library read selections include Her Every Fear, December 2016, All the Beautiful Lies, April 2018, 8 Perfect Murders, March 2020, and Every Value Break, March 2021. Again, no stranger. All 3 of them are no strangers to this list. But we're very excited that Peter Swanson's 9 Lives made it. Again, he's back in the Hall of Fame, and we have a little audio from him.
Hi all, this is Peter Swanson checking in on this podcast to say I'm thrilled to be another Library Reads pick for my new novel, 9 Lives. 9 Lives is a book I've been wanting to write for a very long time. It's my homage to my all-time favorite mystery novel, And Then There Were None, by Agatha Christie. If you're not familiar with that book, but I suspect most of you are, it's about 10 strangers who are invited to a remote island and then are bumped off one by one by a killer who turns out to be one of them. In my version, there are 9 strangers, but instead of being lured to an island, they all receive a letter in the mail. Just a simple list, 9 names including theirs, and then like in the Agatha Christie book, they begin to die off one by one. I've always wanted to tell this kind of story, but I knew I didn't want to set it on an island or a snowbound hotel, both of which have been done before. So when I came up with this idea of the list, it made sense to me that as soon as these strangers had been marked for death, they were on a virtual island of a kind. I think it worked out, and I hope you do too. The last time I was here, I remember talking about how much I've missed libraries in the age of COVID. And I'm happy to say that this year, despite the continuation of COVID in all of our lives, that I've donned my mask and I've re-upped my habit of visiting libraries where I live on the North Shore of Massachusetts. It's been such a joy getting back into some of my favorite places. Books are the true love of my life, and libraries have been a huge part of that love ever since I was a kid, lucky enough to be brought to the library once a week. So thank you for being librarians, and I hope you're all staying safe and cozy out there. Keep reading, everybody. Thanks.
That's great.
Totally awesome. That was great. I remember when I read the description of that book, it was one that I immediately wanted to read right away. I just love little mysteries like that, and he absolutely killed it. Such a well-deserved place, all of them on this list.
Yeah, who doesn't love Agatha Christie? And if you're a fan of that book, or even not just love mysteries, then it's perfect for you. Yeah. Yeah, we had a really fun conversation with Peter for the podcast. We used to, everyone listening, a little nugget of information, we used to call the authors, but timing wise, that didn't really work out because we just ended up getting in a really long conversation about how much we love the book. And, these are better to be a little on the shorter side and give them some time to give their acceptance speech of sorts. But I just remember calling and having this long conversation about how Library Reads needs to have like a Hall of Fame t-shirt or something when you make it. But yeah, we're very excited for all three of these authors, and we really hope to be back with you next month for the April round of Library Reads picks. Until then, you have lots of downloading to do with these three books. The full top 10 list of Library Reads picks and other Hall of Fame authors are available on libraryreads.org. You can find out all about it there. See you next month.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Library Love Fest podcast. For more information on this week's episode, go to librarylovefest.com. Enjoying the show? We would love to hear what you think. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Library Love Fest and on Instagram at Harper Library. Be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and share the show with a friend. Lastly, if you enjoy our show, we bet you'll enjoy all of the other podcasts from HarperCollins publishers. Find a list of shows at harpercollins.com/podcast. See you next week.